let's go for the skull. Maybe I will talk, maybe I won't. I will just have some fun and maybe you get something out of that. Just don't mind sharing it. I feel like working as low as I can, and I will start with a side view. So let's say that's a triangle. Okay. I will make just some comments. Sometimes I will be silent. It depends. I'll just focus on making something looking good. That's it. Yeah, it's opening. Okay, nice. So I got something like if the big shapes, something like that, like that, like that. If to simplify way harder, it's something like so. Maybe like that, right? And here's like additional detail, like here's all. There's all that. If we shrink this, elongate it, right? Extrude, protrude. Here's that, this here. I wouldn't say that it's kind of much, but if we just start to making this situation, it kind of gets the vibe of it. So that's how I can press this. Alright, let me take, yeah, and I will for sure send you some of the materials with this video. What the heck? And this is an Aki curve. It's basically when you don't have a curve, it's like that, and when you have it, it goes like pinchy. You can find out more about the Aki curve in internet. So let's do that. Do that. Making approximations, guessing. Yeah, and there I can make it too. So I take cylinder. I put it some here. And basically the shape of the cylinder will be a subtraction, so you just bear in mind what you need, right? Like, yeah, I think that will be fine. And also what you're able to do is you can press this and you can press live boolean and you can see it in live, where the live boolean is in render boolean, live boolean. So basically before I even like pressed, right, it will be merged right now, it will be that, or it will be this. There are different functions to kind of glue, subtract, or subtract vice versa. So that's how it's going to look. Honestly, that's all I need. I don't need it to be perfect or whatever. And right now I will dynamesh it. Oh, this group is not the same color that I need. Yeah, let's see how's it going. Yeah, it doesn't work. So what you can do is you shift control to get this polygroup, and you can go to that polygroups and group as dynamesh sub D, and you give it this white abstraction parameter, and also the parameters of the dynamesh. I really like dynamesh. Give you dynamesh and make sketches. I just go for dynamesh and I play with this blur. I don't like blur. It just makes blur. really not digging it, and I turn it off usually. So yeah, I got this hole that I see here. Really interesting mouth horses have. Never thought of it's gonna look like that. So it's quite low, and I'm kind of, this low resolution prohibits me to do more than just move brush. That's kind of, intentional restriction. So it goes something like here, maybe the eye, right? Protrusion, this bump, this thing, and this one goes at the same. So another thing is to relate it's find relationships. Like you wonder how, come on, let me draw on top. I can be wondering, why is this doing to me? Why are you bullying me? Why? I'm sorry. Oh. So you kind of wonder, like, for how much I want to push this part. And you can find the relationships, okay, how I can relate to the other elements. So I see that this thing and this thing is pretty much aligned. That's the one that you can kind of have as a stable one, right? That's the one relation that I found. What else is interesting? Like, where's this bump I can align? I can align this bump with maybe this notch here. Oof, that's a super straight line. I mean, it's not super aligned. There is like a bit swoosh. That was close. Alright, the height of this I can align maybe with this breakup. This one I can start to see that this bone kind of starts to swoosh here, where the eye. And this relationship play is something that I was studying in academical drawings, and something that you really should like listen to me and realize eventually, if you haven't heard of that this is something that artists use all the time, is relationships one to another thing. It is one of the most crucial things in creating the shapes, so like making the drawings that kind of respect the character and the relationships of the shapes that you sculpt. It's a matter of finding these relationships right. If the relationships is off, your sculpt will be looking off. Or for instance, what's the half of this? It's like here, somewhere from this there. You really want to find the gabarities, like the width and height. And as you found the width and height, you're able to look for other inner things. But if your relationships with the height is off, that means everything that will be inside of these parameters, like width and height, will be off too. So that's why you really want to establish your walls first. So that's just, you know, the more time the better you set the walls. It'll be easier to do the decorations within these walls. And I will, you know, it's basically one cube, right? It's really low, and I dig doing this that way. Some artists that already experienced and stuff, they just find themselves enjoying more resolution, and I don't mind that. But I would say, like, as a beginner, I would stick to this for sure. And as you go in the ZBrush, you'll be more confident, and you'll just figure out what you really dig. All right, it starts to look like that. You know, maybe swoosh more here. Does this, like this goes. Okay, a bigger one for sure. Oh yeah, I kinda getting ahead of it. Yeah, that, and it is here. Yeah, just like that. Yeah, my eyes, you know, like, I could say that I have epilepsy right now because my eyes is like doing like that. Here. It's like just casual thing in the beginning. If I would have that program or whatever it is that shows the where my eyes at, you know, like these applications, it's just jumping right now. And I see that as I will go on, I see that these planes are changing really dramatically. So if I were to trace it, like, here is like, yeah, this volume that goes here and it starts to flatten and it breaks up here and it starts to wrapping here, breaks here and all that. It like starts to make all this complexity, you know. But that's something that very weird. That's something that I will be bothered later on. I don't care about these plane changes right now. All I care about is relationships of the all important structures. Like on the skull that you send me, they are zygomatic, the top of the skull. There are some like the proportions that don't make a lot for credibility, and these proportions that you had to make right, they are not that right, and everything that's within this skull, it will be off just because of these, you know, boundaries are off, like the walls are off, and just can help it. Okay, this top of the notch, crest. Yeah, maybe like that, yeah, like that. I wouldn't do likeness 1-to-1. Give me a sec, I'll skip this. This is really I wouldn't do likeness 1-to-1 because, you know, every skull differs. You won't find two same skulls. Maybe if there is a task you have to do the same, but that would be weird. It's easier to scan, you know. than to make these likenesses. If you enjoy making the likenesses, yeah, you can do that. But when you do likeness, you really have to realize the matter the way you observe is just, you know, that's it. The observation period. Nothing more. First, obviously, learning the tools, connecting your brain to the tool. Right? I don't think with the buttons that I press right now. Just don't think. They are part of my brain. I just ask myself what I want to do and what I want to happen, right? And it's just happening. Alright, I work on this view. And let me work on that one because it's basically wrong. In terms of like it should be a bit different, you know? Okay, that's the... Wait, what is this view? I think that's a board, right? Yeah, let's work on the front a bit. Because right now, obviously everything is wrong from this side. And I wouldn't say that it is the most accurate way to work in terms of... I mean, it's just what I find sometimes doing. That's it. Different people come to the same good result, but different ways, obviously. And that's how I sometimes do. I just spend a lot of time on the one view, and then I fix the others. And as I understand that my proportions are quite fine, and all I have to do is to tweak these, you know. It's okay. And as I establish most of it, I'll be thinking about just taking cool angles or stuff and just work on top of that, you know. Yeah, 3/4. Yeah, I think that I'm already approaching the moment where I could subdivide a bit, you know, because really I want to make some decisions about the plane changes already within these boundaries, but it's not allowing me because topology is so low, right? That I simply cannot. And as I see that, I feel like this area contains that hole that goes into the eye, and we can see really prominent here, right? Like if that was from the underneath and like that. Oh man, what did they do that to me? So it goes like that. I feel like this is the right one, yeah? Or that's no, I don't think that's a top. Or that's a top. No, oh yes. Really weird for me. Yeah, I think that's a top though. Really interesting subject. Yeah, I guess that's a top. That there is no way, because I see this thing and I don't see the mandible. Yeah, I guess that's a top. Have to look at this from this angle. A bit yikes. Yeah, and you see that we should really make it wider here. So that's where the holes will be. Like the brain area. Not that big though. And it narrows here. And another one, don't use smooth brush on the skulls. I think that skull always benefit from this noisy structure. that you basically get from sculpting on top of it. I personally like it. Hey, show me. That's so weird. That from the top it feels so wide, and from here it is kind of more narrowish. But yeah, I feel like I really should subdivide eventually. Because way too low to make any good decisions. This is a cool one, but maybe not for today. I really dig this. I think that I will stick most of the time. That's going to be my essential reference per se. Yeah, and as I understand that there is nothing underneath. Like I wonder there is like how it looks from the bottom. Oh, that's interesting. Oh yeah, that's a good one too. I'll take it. So yeah, the mandible, the lower one, is literally like there is nothing. So, and it's so narrow. It's basically, yeah, that's the widening here, but eventually it will be really narrow. Like the V shape, I would say. Like that. Right. Yeah. Yeah, we get something. Yeah, and I think that's kinda the zygomatic angle that human have. Okay, the widening really differs as I understand. There is no way to put it right. Alright, here's the teeth. Yeah, I think I almost got, yeah. And here's like it stops here and starts the teeth line. And then the teeth itself. Okay. Fair enough. Oh. Right. Okay. Yeah, let's do that. So the lower teeth underneath. I think that's natural for people too. The upper teeth line, if I can say that way, it should be above If you have vice versa, that's not healthy, I guess. Right. Let's put it this way. Goes that. Yeah, there is like really good narrowing, even for beginners who start. It is a tendency to make the nozzle bone too blunt, but it's, you know, crisp thing. And you said that like you don't know where to like finish and stuff. I kind of dig what you're saying, like what you're feeling. Um, there's the thing that though we all aspire to do the greatest things, you know, like Jay Hill does, X Jenner stuff. But you should be conscious that the more you do that, the better you get. You see that even like we had small talks with you, and I sent you some feedback and you improved, and that's how you improve through the years and ages, right? So there should be points where you feel that's what you should really think about when you feel okay. I really worked hard and I done all I can, and now it's time to move on. That's the right thing to do, and then you gather feedback and you then start new project. And yeah, I'll just continue to my horse. And as I said, I want to subdivide it to maybe 122 data mesh. Okay, yeah, it feels more pleasing. And right now I will start working on the shapes here. So yeah, I would say for the horse it gets better, focusing most of the time on the face and wings and body proportions, and the rest will be covered by XGen. And I think it is just better for me. Yeah, it's quick save to split them already. Into meshes, I could keep it, you know. How I usually make studies of the head skull is I take one solid mesh and that's it. I don't make the holes in a skull because, you know, for like my purpose is just to get the feeling of the head and stuff. It's enough. All these holes won't be seen on the human portrait, right? But here I feel like I would really want it. So that's a mask lasso. Really candid though. You can find it if you press mask and you go to the mask, you can find a lasso here. Okay, let's mask it. And then I select this and split hidden. It is in the modified topology, I think. Maybe right here. Yeah, I don't remember exactly where the split hidden, but yeah, just split hidden parts, and you dynameshed one more time here, dynameshed here too. So this one, want to check out how the thing looks from here. Alright, it's just a mandible, right? From the top. Yeah, I could just make another sphere. Get rid of this one. Right, take this subtraction. Yeah, that's how I want to subtract it. Okay. Okay, dynamesh. Yeah, something like that. Then it's a bit chunky, so I can dynamesh a couple times and smooth it. But not a whole lot, because I really dig these kind of unevenness of the skull that I got eventually. Give me a sec. It got a bit repetitive. You're listening to the Ryuki Sakamoto. He's a really nice one. But sometimes he's too crazy. Right, let's see. Yeah, this area should be hollow. Here we have widening. Here's the zygomatic starts. Zygomatic ends, twist, go, hole here, and now once again I would just simply go for another one. Or you know what you can do besides that appending and all that? You can go brush, insert primitives, and you like take capsule, you can move brush, and you can rotate these. You can scale like go local symmetry, so it's like scales locally. Let's just somewhere roughly. I just need hole to eventually develop it better. Like that. You know? Okay. Then I can take this and go to like that. Yep, and I could thicken it a bit so it's more solid. Okay, I prepared all the holes. I think all the holes. I'm not going to make this nozzle hole. Not going that crazy on there. I don't feel like doing it. So here's the teeth line. It ends here. This goes as so. And let me on that. Yeah, an interesting thing as you observe these shapes more accurately, see that it's not just a straight line, there are some character to it. You know? Character. really important. Yeah, here's the widening. Here's like this groove. The plane change, I would say this triangle to this volume. Goes like that. Okay. And the teeth have character too. They're not a straight line. First it's arc. Maybe I could even, you know, split it as so. I don't know, should I keep it as a separate? I mean, like as the one blob, or I could eventually take this. Yeah, I feel like doing it. Why not? So widening and narrowing, how things go. And well, I really dig the way that it looks. So I will just press geometry. Zero mesh, keep group smooth. I will keep smooth. Let's see. And that will do. Don't care much. And just rotate outwards and give it a polygroup. Auto groups. Yeah. And it feels as they're not straight, like this straight, this wrapping, and this wrapping even more. Like there are twists, and the narrowing is more severe, like that. And I can just mirror and weld it, no, without local. Just mirror it and weld it. Yeah. Are they stick? Yeah, they glue. They glue. Come on. Are you kidding me? The history was deleted. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, maybe I should have kept them as a mesh, as a blob, you know. I wouldn't spend much time doing this, but already started. What the heck? Okay, I feel like I want to leave them for now and spend on more important areas. Yeah, the last row of the teeth, and I'm out for a bit. And that's the fact that you shouldn't spend much time in one area. Your eyes gets blurry and used to the shape, and you really want to kind of refresh them, right? Oh, close holes. Yep. Yeah, let's leave it as that for now. I really think that I have to work more on the skull. It's more important, and especially on the lower mandible. So I will, when I do these brush strokes, I really think about the big plane. For example, this big plane, and I'm trying to even up with it. I'm not doing like automatic with no purpose brush strokes. The idea of this tool is just to even up the surface and create some plane for it. There's always idea in mind. I use snake hook brush to make this smudge. Move brush with the back face. Reduce the volumes here, like that. And right now I would want it to and to switch between subtools, I use Alt and click on the mesh, and I think that the jaw, yeah, it's here. So these tips are here, somewhat here. Continuing developing my planes and volumes distinctive, like this spot here, this spot here. I'm gonna change material. Yeah, this is really sharp and thin structure. Here is a distinct plane. Like that. And I will make a hint that these are teeth. Here's the nerve tunnel. Here's the another nerve tunnel, right? It's a damn standard brush. And I think that this is the audio channel here, and that's maybe mastoid process like humans have. The mastoidus. This one is interesting. Maybe that's for nerves one more time. And here's very characteristic, interesting, like this swoosh here. And then it goes like that, and this right here. Like that. And here's the occipital part, where for humans the trapezius attach. Yeah, let's get this, you know, the charisma, the character of the volumes. So this area where the muscles or like stuff going, and it will be really nice. You see that this area is kind of having this structure. That's because that's like the most obvious representation of where the muscle attach. For humans too, on the mandible, the masseter area, for human it looks like that because of the masseter. And the horse, as you saw, they have a huge masseters to chew. That's just fun fact for you. Why is the history so bad? It's like not recording it. Or free memory, 1 RAM. I think that's because of this. Yeah, I think like what if like I don't know. Oh yeah, very interesting. We have way more volume here. So it does like this, like the... It does like that. what I see. The shape of the mandible, it goes inward, right? It does that. So yeah, this thing can be here, and these walls going that direction, and there goes this way, and we get this shape, and it should be more consistent, not that messy. I mean, on the reference it is messy, but not that hard. Alright. Why is that, dude? No, don't keep the... I don't care about the groups. So yeah, it starts to look more like the thing that we need. And yeah, this thing goes wider. I don't know about the perspective for them. Maybe it goes like that. Yeah. And the inner silhouette here. Yeah, let's work on the character of these holes, because they are just booleans right now. Like, what's going on here? And let's subdivide it to 2 a bit more. I feel like it could be wider though. Like after this skull it goes wider. Really? I'm kind of trying to go noisy here to convey that bony structure and bony texture. That's when you have lazy mouse on. It's on the stroke lazy mouse. You can press shift drag and it will do the line. Yeah, a bit of autosave. I think it autosaves way longer because I have that mesh. Additional one, Let's make it thinner. Yeah, that's the one of the issues that I don't like working with the images. You're always not sure how thin or how how something goes, Oh, I'm sorry, that's hiccup. Yeah. Here is like supposed to be the nose, right? Yeah, I kind of start feeling the character. Right now I want to focus on creating the planes, the structure. Right, and let's just imitate the teeth, because I feel like soon I'll wrap it up. That's speed sculpt. So here is this teeth line, and let's make some of the let's like work with the teeth. I just make the hints that here's a teeth. Here's like the more structure on top of that, right? Maybe like I can make some happy little incidents. Might look interesting. Teeth. That 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm trying to be loose here. Right, and for the lower mandible, same thing applies. Teeth. I reckon, or I shouldn't do that. Kind of teeth. Something hinting, trying to convey there is something as a teeth. Right. Maybe the character of an eye could be improved. Really dig that it should be thin. I really like this breakup. Right now I'm trying to be careful with the shape and really pay attention to the shapes that I like, that I don't like. For example, this area I really like. Right now being really picky about all this, maybe like that. And I would use pinch brush maybe, or let's try in deflate. No, deflate doesn't work. Pinch brush to make it crisp. Let's subdivide them a couple times and just work on top of it. Give them some, structure, that these are the teeth. They're not perfect. teeth of the dead horse, you know that. You know, look at this. They quite thick though, not gonna lie. They quite thick. Now maybe I could use trim dynamic polish, like to make these, I see, crisp changes. These. Well, I could work on the bottom teeth, but I don't feel like working on them. For my purposes, when you do the sketches, you, in the best case scenario, you want to have a purpose for your starting like sketch. Sometimes it can be mindless exploration, but it is really nice when you're like, okay, I want to study, for example, for this study, I wanted to study the basic shapes of the horse, the basic proportions, I would say, and stuff. When you see these kind of sharpening here, let's kind of wait and put it to, oh, look at this, it was before and after. And as you like read the overall object, you really want to ask yourselves, what are the character of these of this mesh? Because if you would look at this one, that's what I'm like planning to do now, to look at the silhouette. I really want to respect this, you know. I really like all these rigid and crispy areas. I don't want to have smooth, like for example here it's quite too smooth. I don't want it. I want it to be more rigid and crisp, sharp, like you can damage your finger if you really how to say that, not accurately touching this skull, you know, like this is a like big deal. It should feel like the character should feel crisp and edgy, worn, dry. That's what really conveys, you know, like the materialism of the sculpt. You should really convey the material at some sense. If you create the sculpt like the horse and it doesn't feel, you know. Coming back to this one, for example, you could say that for example here it's like way too crazy, I think. Maybe that's true, but sometimes especially people who begin, they tend to make more emphasized crevices than they are in real life. So what I wanted to say that, for example, may convey it like this feels as a bone, and this like feels as a meat, and this feels as a meat, and like some of these as a bony areas. Like the type of tight or like wobbly or whatever surface that conveys the material eventually. For example, the bone is that, right? If I were to smooth these bones, they would feel like they made out of what? So they made out of silicone or whatever. And as you notice, I don't use smooth brush almost at all when I work with the surface. I was using smooth brush to fix some of the areas right here, but no more. Yeah, feels a bit wobbly. I want to nevertheless, that's the right word, get more stable surface. And let's put here the teeth, so-called teeth, you know, that's gonna be my teeth, just that. Here is too much of this brush stroke noise, so I will consciously take some good side profile image and calm it down. I press Alt, I invert, like, you know, for example, you add, you remove, and I constantly press Alt to add and remove, and eventually end up with a much smoother surface, because right now it's too noisy, and when it's too noisy there is like fakeness in it. See that I'm kinda slowly moving, move brush, yeah, that's MRGB fill object, MRGB, so it's like just the same tone, you know. Okay, and I want to turn off RGB. And I feel like I can make, it's nice, I can take them standard and with the bigger radius push it inwards. I still feel like there is not enough said for this plane change. Yeah, now I feel like more satisfied with this. Okay, like I will try 333 and just going to the finer details. You see that I'm gradually moving in subdivisions as I feel. Like you see, like we can make more shallow area here. It's really noisy here. I could make like hash this way, it creates this structure for, you know, the fact that here's the muscles brain area, like in underneath inside, and all these muscles attachments, really noisy. Really like subtle, you know. And here's very complex area, goes like so. Really crisp side with this one. yeah, being really, loose. It's a sketch. Let's give it a 333. And I really dig these fractals. Nobody will see this area, but anyway. Let's look at the shadow. See that here is more shadow and occlusion. So there is a plane change. And obviously for the teeth. Just like so. And maybe I will not like that. Yeah, I really feel this bump here. Should be some broader movements like that, and more volume for here, and here's this twist, and I'm going to finer and finer details basically. I wasn't making all these noises and structures right out the bat. I was focusing on the walls, on the bigger things, and I can maybe like go here and make it like that, right? For instance, and push out the teeth more, like that maybe. Like, let's eyeball this one. Yeah. Just trim. Oh, and I see that here's a hole, like going continuation from the eye. It goes there. Interesting. Yeah, I'm not going to like spend time connecting this. Just don't need it for my purposes. Yeah, and I can take the trim dynamic brush and maybe reduce the amount of noise I have here. It kinda not smooth, but beaten up the surface and reduce the amount of these small details that I don't dig. And on the edges it can create really nice structure like that, So yeah, let's zoom out and look at overall appeal. Oh yeah, I can even, you know, make it something like that. Looks nice. You should really think like, oh, who I could create a nice surface that looks nice. Like something cool, you know? And also I have the J Hill brush back. I can just, you know, beat up the surface a bit here and there. Yeah, I think I'm happy. I mean, I could push it further though, and like zero mesh and stuff, and it would look better. But yeah, that's how I just work, just demo. I wanted to make a head in my spare time, and there you go. Done these. And yeah, that's it.